TheJamies.net.
We sailed on the Holland America Nieuw Statendam for 10 nights in December 2023. During our cruise, we had the privilege to sit down with Bettyann Chun, the ship's cruise and travel director, for a chat about her personal experiences and insights working for Holland America Line. Just a quick note that if you enjoy this video, please give us a thumbs up or leave a comment. It really helps our channel. And consider subscribing so you get alerted when we add new videos.
Hi, my name is Bettyann Chun, and my position on the ship, Nieuw Statendam right now, is Cruise and Travel Director for Holland America Line. Our Vice President describes it as, you are like the hostess at an elegant dinner party. So my position is to focus more on the destinations and the travel aspects and to help our guests get the most out of their days in port, whether it's they need recommendations for restaurants or they need recommendations on what to do, or if it's simple as just redirecting them to a shore excursion. This is probably going to be your best way to see everything that you want to see. I was originally born and raised in Los Angeles, but now I currently live in San Francisco, California. And in a former life prior to this, I was a marketing executive doing marketing analytics. I was working my way up in the industry and getting to a lot of different management roles. And eventually it came to the point where I wanted to do something different. So I actually thought back to what I really wanted to do. Was there some kind of hidden dream? I always wanted to be a professional chef. So what I did was I actually ended up going to culinary school at night while working my day job. After I graduated, I got a job in a restaurant. And I have to tell you that working in a restaurant is probably the most physically demanding job I have ever done. It was 14 hours on my feet straight through, just cooking. But I loved it because I was actually creating something, doing something. I worked in a couple of restaurants, one Michelin star restaurant called Spruce in San Francisco. I also got to stage for El Salar de Can Roca, which is a 3 Michelin star restaurant in Girona, Spain. There was a job posting that came up that I saw. It said, hey, do you love to cook? Are you a professional chef? And do you love to travel? And I was like, yes, I do. So I applied for the job. Then eventually I get a cryptic email saying, hey, are you still interested in this job? If so, send us an audition video. Living in San Francisco, I had a good friend of mine who happened to previously work for Pixar and Lucasfilm. And he said, yeah, I know how to do that. He made me look like Top Chef. And I'm saying, that's not me. He goes, it is now. So he put the video together. We went ahead and submitted it. And a week later, I got another email saying, hey, we love that video. We need to see another one. This time they said, we need to see you teaching something. So okay, so I went to my culinary school. I asked to borrow the kitchen for a little bit. And then we went in and we did another film, submitted that video as well. Then another week later, I get another email saying, we love both your videos. Now we want to talk to you in person. Okay, this is like month 5 or 6 after I first applied. Now I'm going to actually talk to somebody. So we ended up speaking. And then 2 weeks from the point I spoke with her, I was on a ship in Alaska doing cooking shows. And I did cooking shows for about 2 or 3 years. It was with a partnership with America's Test Kitchen. Loved doing it. It was doing cooking demonstrations, got to see a lot of different parts of the world. Unfortunately, the partnership was not renewed and this position became available. I had to audition for this as well. And here I am. The most challenging part about working on a cruise ship is probably number one, the time spent away. So my contracts are usually 4 months working on a cruise ship and then 2 months off. Sometimes the 4 months turns into 5, and sometimes the 2 months turns into 3 weeks. So yes, that is the challenging part. I think is time spent away. And I can understand for other crew members, if they have families, it's a challenge to be away from family for that long. I know for myself, I'm fine in my family status where I can basically go wherever the ship needs me, which is great. And that feeds my wanderlust and my desire to travel a lot. One thing that most cruise passengers don't realize about life as a crew member is that we do work some very long hours. On average, most crew members work around 11 hours a day, and they work very hard. And it's for, like I said, either 4, 6, 8, 9 months at a time. So there's a lot of work that goes on behind the scenes. And our crew members are so incredibly hardworking, and they really want to do a good job and have the guests really appreciate it. Just to be very patient and very understanding of what the guests are trying to accomplish, helping them to get the most experience out of being on the ship, whether or not they're not satisfied with their rooms or there's something that they would really love to have because it's their 50th anniversary. It's kind of the mentality of really the hospitality industry is saying, how can I help enhance your experience here? And I think that's one skill coming out of the restaurant experience where I was working back of the house, I wasn't really cognizant of. But now that I'm front of the house, that's, I think, the skill that I have developed. And also to be aware of just a lot of different cultural differences. There's a lot of diverse clientele that comes on board, and you just have to be cognizant of the cultural differences. It's not so much a hidden talent, but what I really strive to do is just to find out the real authentic local places in every port that we go to. Now, that being said, some of the ports I've been to numerous times, but I'm still trying to find that place where when you walk in, everybody looks at you like, what are you doing here? I want the true authentic like coffee or coffee break or bread that's local to the region, or what is the local dish of the region? What is the true authentic spices combinations that you're offering in the foods? I mean, it's very much food oriented and also probably drink oriented as well. But I think food is culture, and food also, it really brings people together because we're all human and we all have to eat. And what we eat, I honestly believe says a lot about who we are. Probably the one port that has really impressed me the most, and we don't travel there anymore, is St. Petersburg, Russia. A lot of us have this image of what Russia is. Probably for my generation, which is Gen X, we think of the Soviet Union. We think of the Cold War, the Soviet bloc, the gray walls and everything. St. Petersburg is the complete opposite of it. When I went there and I went on tour and found out a lot more about the city, it is a European city. It is an 18th century, 19th century European city. It has many canals, which I did not know. You can take boat canal tours up and down St. Petersburg. The Hermitage is right on this huge kind of bay that goes into all these different tributaries and rivers throughout the city. And you see these beautiful Baroque buildings, the inside the Hermitage, the Winter Palace, Catherine's Palace. It is amazing to think that you are in Russia. So my other favorite place is really Dubrovnik and Split. Croatia is like this diamond in the rough on the Dalmatian coast. A lot of cruise ships are starting to discover it. Dubrovnik now there's a lot of people who go there, and namely for Game of Thrones. But recently, having been to Split, it is a charming, beautiful city on the coast. I would think just anything along that Dalmatian coast, that is worth exploring right now, because as of yet, it hasn't been fully realize. Usually first timers, they go, so when are your days off? I go, I don't have any days off. I work Monday through Sunday. And they're shocked. But I go, don't worry, I still get some time off. There are usually some few precious hours off, and I love to go in port. And like I said, when I'm in port, I am seeking out those little hidden gems of local, authentic places. Also, if I have free time and it's a sea day, this is what every crew member is going to tell you. I take a nap. Naps are very important to every crew member on any ship at any time. I think most crew members will agree with me that first week, I just sleep. Literally, nothing is scheduled, no alarm clock. I am sleeping and I'm in my pajamas, ordering takeout, watching TV. That's the first week. But then I also, when I'm on contract, I do plan out my vacations where I'm going to travel to somewhere where I've always wanted to go, or travel to somewhere where I have been on the ship, but I want to spend more time. Because as you probably know, when you're traveling on a ship, you're only there for a couple of hours, probably at max 10 hours, if not an overnight. Not everywhere we have overnights, but there are some cities that deserve a lot more time that I would love to go back to and spend more time, like a week or so. Or I'm planning on visiting somewhere that I haven't been before. So I know that this upcoming vacation, I'm planning on doing a Southeast Asia trip. So that's where the planning comes in beforehand. So that usually happens every couple of vacations, not every one, because in addition to that, when you're away for 4 or 5 months at a time, there's other things that you got to take care of, like administratively in your life, doctor's appointments, dentist appointments, all those things that you kind of have to put on hold because you're away. So working on a cruise ship has really, I've seen a lot of different things regarding the tourism industry. So especially when you're in ports and you're in ports with like 5 other ships, you realize the impact that tourism has on a port. There's the part where it brings a lot of tourism, basically the economics of it, the dollars that are spent there, that has a very real impact. Also, I realized that the tourism industry, there needs, and I think some countries are waking up to it, where we do have to be, I think, conscientious of what we leave behind. So it's a big circle. It's like that has an impact on each other. The ports on us and us on the ports. Thinking back to my first day on a cruise ship, probably the number one advice I would give myself is to be open, just be open to a lot of new experiences. Do not worry about what other people think. Do not worry about other people's opinions. And also, being in this position, probably as a cruise and travel director, since everybody sees me, everybody wants to know who the cruise director is, to also realize that you cannot please everyone. You can do your job perfectly well, and still you cannot please everyone. And just be satisfied with that. Because yes, there is always room for improvement, but in the long run, there are some people you're just never going to convince. And you just got to let it go. The one thing that I look forward to the most when I set sail is whatever port we're going to. And I know what the itinerary is. Before, when I get my contracts, I look specifically at that ship's itinerary and I mark out which ports I am looking forward to, which ports I'm going to investigate, and what I'm going to do there. So everything is pre-planned and pre-thought. Sometimes the ports aren't. It depends, I'll go with the flow, but for the most part, that is what I do. Holland America Line's itineraries, this is what we're known for, And trust me, not only the guests know it, the crew know it as well. And I know plenty of crew members, and you'll probably talk with them too. You ask them, what itinerary would you like to do? And they can tell you exactly what they want to do. Cruising is an adventure. I think that you get out of it what you put into it, and we will try to get you there.